Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is really interesting. It would seem Clive Barker has now won. He's got the rights back to Hellraiser. Now, this will be interesting for many, many reasons, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty of what happened and how it's worked, basically just from this report. But I think what's going to be so just fascinating to watch unfold is if he does do anything with it, all those people that said, bring back Clive Barker, let's see what they say when it's absolute garbage. Now, I'm not saying that it will be absolute garbage, but like if it is trash, right? It'll just be fascinating to see what happens. Because let's not forget, this same thing happened with Terminator and James Cameron. And Terminator Dark Fate happened. He got the rights back, and he sold the rights immediately off again. So it'll just be fascinating. Now, again, I have every hope that this will be great, because I like Hellraiser. I've been doing a 3 times a week series here on the channel. More Hellraiser is good for me. I don't see anything wrong with, more product, to be perfectly honest. And just from a pure spectacle standpoint, it'll be fascinating to watch what happens from here. It'll also be really interesting to see why he wanted it back, whether it's simply just to bury it, or it is to push out a new thing, or maybe he's going to sell them back to someone else. That's the thing here, because again, just like James Cameron got the rights back to Terminator, half of, I guess, and he sold them immediately away again. So let's see what happens, yeah? Now, before we get into this, I have a limited edition run of Xenomorph Christmas sweaters. You'll find them linked down below in the description box as well as underneath the video. They are made for me. It's a design made for me, for you, by my graphic designer. It's a one-of-a-kind design. So grab them whilst you can. They're available for a very limited time. It helps support the channel, and it means you can rock some awesome merch as well. So let's dive into this, shall we? So this is on The Hollywood Reporter. Now, universally, people are going to be praising this. And I want to like it, but I also have the air of skepticism because of other things that have transpired with other rights holders when they've got their properties back. I've been burned. I know better not to just go in all guns blazing, all super happy. So, court papers confirm success for Clive Barker, who wrote and directed the 1987 horror movie. Clive Barker, who wrote and directed the 1987 horror flick Hellraiser, has successfully leveraged copyright law to recapture the American rights to the franchise. Now, do you remember I did this Scream video recently, saying that the Hellraiser reboot was either done or was not going to be happening? And I said, look, they announced the Hellraiser reboot, Spyglass Media Group, before they announced the Scream 5 remake, or Scream 5 sequel. So the fact that Scream 5 had finished and we hadn't seen any movement on Hellraiser, I said don't be surprised if it doesn't happen now. I said it in that video, and look, it's clearly not going to be happening anytime soon, unless he sells them back. So on Monday, his attorney filed papers in California federal court confirming a settlement with Park Avenue Entertainment, the production company that's currently enjoying rights to a film about a woman under the sway of a resurrected former lover. So under the termination provisions of the Copyright Act 1976, authors may recapture rights from publishers after waiting a prescribed period, usually 35 years, for newer works, and sending a notice within a 5-year window. Barker did so, but met resistance from Larry Cuppin, the producer, who had once purchased New World Pictures from Roger Corman. New World had released the horror movie, and according to a lawsuit that came in June, told Barker in correspondence that he couldn't terminate because the terms of the original movie contract were to be construed under UK contract law. Interesting way to get around it. Now, the legal dispute thus seemed primed to explore what happens when the original rights assignment happens in a foreign jurisdiction, plus there is a somewhat complicated chain of title, although here it appears as though Barker sent a notice of termination to the single-purpose vehicle he had once personally co-founded. But the parties have come to a deal. The judge has now been presented with a proposed consent judgment that states that Barker will recapture the US rights on December 19th next year. No word on which side will take foreign rights. Interesting. I mean, that's very surprising, isn't it? Now, obviously, it says the resolution stands in contrast to the situation over Friday the 13th, where a judge ruled in favour of the writer against the producer, but the case is still pending an appeal, given the statutory clock. Barker isn't the only writer from the 1980s attempting to grab back franchise rights. Now, this takes us very nicely on to the fact that we are getting this TV series. Now, what does that mean for that? What does that mean for that? Now, this is what I think is the biggest concern to me, right? So, he's got Clive Barker has the US rights back. What can he do with them realistically if he doesn't get the foreign rights back? He's going to struggle, actually, I think. He's going to struggle a lot. Because if you've only got the US rights, I mean, yeah, sure, you can make a US movie, but you're not going to be able to expand your market very much. So that's slightly odd. Now, the other interesting part here, right, is they mention another Cuppin. So we've got Lawrence Cuppin. Now, Lawrence Cuppin is actually the rights holder of the TV rights. So it's Lawrence Cuppin. He owns the TV rights. Yeah, they were sold to him. Now, he owns them outright. And interestingly enough, it's Larry Cuppin that has the movie rights. Now, Lawrence Cuppin, TV rights guy, has never had to make a movie, a TV series. He's never had to make anything. So, and also as well, I'm aware that he bought them around the time of Hellraiser 3. So if he got them around, oh no, maybe even Hellraiser 4. Hellraiser 3 or 4. I can't remember which. But if he got them around that time, we're not within that 35-year window yet, are we? When we're inside it. We're not on the run up to the outside of it. So, where does this leave this? Now, we do know that Clive Barker is on board the Hellraiser TV series as an executive producer. And I said then, I think they're preempting it. They're getting him on board to stop any lawsuit going on. So it'll be fascinating to see how this progresses, actually. I'll be really, genuinely, really intrigued to see what happens. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Again, Clive Barker has staunch fans, right? And rightfully so. He does. But I always say, just err on the side of caution with this, because James Cameron had staunch fans, and he sold the rights immediately back to the same people that made Terminator Genisys. I know it's Genesis. So, like, take from that what you will. You know, these people do this for a reason. They're motivated by many things. And until we know what their motivation is, it's very difficult to get excited. In my book, anyway. So there you go. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Be fascinated to see what happens from here, because, yeah, more Hellraiser could be good. But he might obliterate it. He might just destroy it. And I don't mean obliterate it story-wise, although he might. He might just look to put it to bed forever. Because, again, Scarlet Gospels happened. He showed his particular disdain for the characters in Scarlet Gospels. It was intentional to kill off everything. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been Mr. H. Take care.